Every week, the space throws a few stories that say more about where crypto is heading than any price chart can. This one is packed with cross chain smart contracts stepping straight into Solana, Bitcoin DeFi getting a social twist, long term ICP holders shifting their tokens on chain, and AI quietly turning everyday prompts into deployable apps. Different threads, some direction where builders are getting more freedom and fewer barriers. Let's get into it. And if you like the work we do here on Ledger Live, there is donation details in the description. It's completely optional, but it helps keep the channel independent. The first story comes from ICP Hub Egypt, and it's a substantial technical move for both ecosystems. Internet computer smart contracts can now interact directly with Solana on chain. No bridges, no third party servers, no custodial layers, just direct interaction, key holding, signing, and execution. This is the sort of update that doesn't create instant hype, but it quietly changes the toolkit developers have at their disposal. Instead of shipping a project that's half decentralized and half dependent on Web2 services, developers can run the entire stack on chain interface, backend logic, storage, and user interactions. That's something Solana teams have been asking for because many builders don't want their front ends sitting on centralized servers or key operations routed through off chain services. With ICP stepping in, Solana developers get an expanded environment with sovereign execution, on chain frontends, on chain storage, and a backend structure that never has to leave decentralized rails. In a world where trust minimization is becoming standard, that's a strong change. Supporters of this integration say it could trim weak points from multi chain apps like fewer dependencies, fewer maintenance steps, and fewer failure risks. If a contract itself can hold authority and sign across networks, you eliminate layers that historically introduced vulnerabilities. But of course, there's always a counter view where new tooling has to prove itself, especially when it spans two high performance networks and tries to maintain consistent performance. What stands out most is the pace of ICP's multi chain rollout. Over the past month alone, integrations have arrived for SU, NEAR, TRX, ADA, and XRP. Each ecosystem has its own architecture and developer culture. So the fact that ICP can now speak the language of all these chains shows how aggressively the team is pushing a modular, network agnostic model. Think of it like this: instead of each blockchain living in its own fenced garden, ICP is attempting to build an environment where smart contracts don't care which chain they are interacting with, they just operate. There is also a very human element in their announcement. The ICP Hub Egypt team thanked contributors from Kenya, Indonesia, Bulgaria, Nigeria, Poland, India, Canada, Portugal, and developers in Houston, along with the leadership support of Emilio Canessa, Bruno Calabretta, and Erin Lamb. It's a reminder that multi chain tools don't appear magically. They are built through steady weekly collaboration across time zones. The real test will be adoption. Developers will want smoother workflows, predictable reliability, and clear performance gains. If ICP can deliver that, this integration could influence how multi chain systems are built going forward. Moving on to the next topic, Odin Fun has introduced a new community driven rewards model designed to bring a social element into Bitcoin DeFi. Here is how it works: users choose a community inside the Odin Fun platform. Whenever they carry out bonding transactions or participate in AMM trades, the community they support earns a fraction of the volume. It's 0.1% on bonding and 0.04% on AMM trades. It's a simple structure, but simplicity is often what makes incentive systems successful. A community earns as its members stay active. Users feel recognized, and groups get a natural reason to expand their network. Autumn Fun isn't turning DeFi into a popularity contest, but it is acknowledging something the industry has been dancing around for years, where communities drive adoption far more than speculative cycles do. The update also introduces community pages, leaderboards, and new visibility features, giving groups a clear sense of their size and engagement. That may sound like a small addition, but in social driven technologies, visibility creates momentum. This model fits into a larger shift happening across DeFi. Projects are starting to treat social dynamics as a core part of product design rather than an afterthought. People want to build around groups they identify with. They want shared rewards, recognition, and influence. Odin Fun is tapping into that by giving users a route to support the networks they care about and letting communities earn directly from on chain activity. There is no promise of massive returns or wild speculation baked into the system. And frankly, that's refreshing. Instead, Odin Fun is trying to strengthen participation by rewarding groups that bring real activity. Next, let's look at ICP ecosystem activity. There's been a noticeable rise in the number of wallets holding more than 1,000 ICP, according to IC terminal data. That category is often referred to as meaningful wallets, where holders who maintain a moderately large position directly inside the NNS rather than on a centralized exchange. Why does that matter? On chain self custody often reflects deeper engagement in governance. Tokens staked in the NNS are part of the project's long term model because voting and maturity rewards are tied to stake duration. Wallets on exchanges, meanwhile, are bundled into giant custodial addresses, so they don't show the behavior of individual holders. The rise in meaningful NNS wallets doesn't prove future price moves, but it does hint at renewed confidence. It shows that more people are choosing to keep their tokens inside the system rather than parked on an exchange waiting for a short term trade. Analysts are naturally split. Some see this as a sign of increased commitment from long term participants. Others warn that a single metric should never be taken as an indicator of broader sentiment because wallet movements can be influenced by market shifts, staking extensions, or even personal portfolio decisions. But context matters. The increase comes at a moment when ICP is pushing rapid cross chain integrations, shipping upgrades, and drawing more attention from developers. Activity typically follows new tools, and confidence often follows activity. So, the simplest reading is this: there is a modest but clear upward trend in self custodied ICP wallets holding over 1,000 tokens. Nothing dramatic, but noticeable enough to be part of the larger story around ICP's recent momentum. Our final story centers on Dom's latest post on X, where he draws a parallel between early computing and the shift happening now with AI assisted development. He pointed out that early programmers used to write machine instructions manually. Then compilers arrived, letting developers write in higher level languages. His argument is that AI now acts as another layer, turning natural language prompts, sketches, images, and ideas into code. He directed this comment at Caffeine, the platform that lets users generate internet computer applications simply by describing what they want. Type your idea and AI turns it into a canister. No command line, no environment setup, no scaffolding. Dom's key statement was bold: anyone using caffeine is contributing directly to ICP development. This framing changes the conversation entirely. Instead of separating builders from non builders, the line becomes much thinner. If you can describe an application clearly, you can create it on chain without prior programming experience. And because the output is a real canister deployed on the internet computer, each user prompt becomes part of the network. Caffeine has already sparked experimentation, like small utilities, puzzle games, prototype micro apps, and interactive tools. Some are simple, some are quirky, but all of them demonstrate the same thing: barriers to creation are dropping rapidly. For the ICP ecosystem, caffeine isn't just a convenience tool, it's a new entry pathway. More creators, more concepts, more on chain experiments. It also aligns with a wider industry trend where AI is stepping into the coding process. Dom isn't suggesting AI replaces developers. He is highlighting how AI expands who gets to participate. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching and sticking with the channel. The latest ledger letter is out now, so go and check the link in the description if you want the full written breakdown of the week. See you in the next one.